Hi, my name is Kip Rasmussen. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I like to work with people and have for a long time on helping them improve their marriages, improve their relationships, and improve their parenting issues. However, I get a lot of people who come in and talk about being depressed, and so I would like to talk to you a little bit about one of the main ways that people get depressed and what you can do about it. So, there are many reasons that people struggle with depression, and I might talk about some of those things in videos to come. However, today I'd like to talk about one of the main ways and one of the ways that you can address this and feel a little bit better, feel as better as quick as possible. So, when we talk about CBT, we talk about the behavioral aspects. CBT stands for cognitive behavioral therapy. And what we're going to talk about today is the cognitive aspect of behavioral therapy. The truth of the matter is, most of my clients come in and I ask them how they talk about themselves in their own thought process and what they say about themselves to themselves. And most of them are really, really harsh. The most common reason that people are depressed in my personal clinical work over the course of about 30 years is that they are very hard on themselves. And I don't know where it comes from for some of them, but for most of them, they heard some pretty rough things throughout their lives, maybe growing up, and there was maybe some abuse, certainly some verbal abuse, or some bullying, or somebody told them in repetitive ways that they were not okay. Well, when we're kids, we tend to just absorb those because we don't have a lot of filters. And so if caretakers or friends or siblings or what have you say some rough things to us, well, we tend to believe those. And then we say those things to ourselves throughout our lives. Well, the truth of the matter is that hardly anyone could possibly be as bad as they consider themselves to be. So all of us are a collection of some strengths, some good things that we do, and some things that we do just kind of in the average way, and some things that we struggle with. And yet, as human beings, what do we tend to focus on? Well, for people who are depressed, they almost invariably focus on the negative things that they've done. So they could do, 90 things in a day, and those would be good and positive, and everything would be done right. But if they make a couple of mistakes, they will be relentlessly critical of themselves to the point where they start to feel bad. Now, the cognitive model, the cognitive aspect of our field says that whatever we think, we are going to feel very, very quickly afterwards. So when we think negative thoughts about ourselves, we can feel this drop in our mood. And the result of that is moderate to mild or severe depression. Most people who come into a therapist's office they're struggling with moderate to severe depression. So what we talk about very quickly is one of the ways that they can work through this terrible habit they have of criticizing themselves. So the first thing that we do is try to help them to understand the thoughts that they're actually feeling. They're actually saying to themselves. Thoughts happen very, very fast. And so they've done it for years and they don't notice that the thoughts are going through their minds very, very quickly. I'm this bad person. I'm a waste of space. I'm a loser. And so I basically try to help them through this treatment for their depression through 4 steps. This is the first one. First, we have to identify that the feeling is happening. So what I ask them to do is pay attention throughout the day when there is a time when they just feel that terrible feeling somewhere in their bodies. Most people feel it in their chest, or they feel it in their stomachs, where there's a collection of nerve endings. So what I ask them to do is pay attention to when that feeling, that mood drops. And then when that happens, to immediately go to step 2. Now, this is step 2, to the thoughts that you thought microseconds or seconds before the drop in the mood. And it's generally going to be a thought that is self-critical, such as I'm a loser, I'll never get things right, I can't have any kind of future, or I'm a waste of space or something like that. So then, this is step 3, I ask people to evaluate this thought for accuracy. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the perfect word is to describe this. And it's not the perfect word, it's the best I've come up with. And that is it accurate? Is it reasonable? Does it tie to reality? Is anyone really as terrible as we consider ourselves to be? We're all a collection of some negative things, some things that we do in the average range, and then some things that we're good at, some positive traits that we're kind, we're decent, we're compassionate, and we mean well. Well, those matter. They're really important, and they make up the qualities that most people consider to be a good person. So step 4, after we've evaluated that thought for accuracy, is to replace it with something that's a little bit more accurate. Like, I've done some good things today. We've all done some good things today. Most of the things that we've done that day or recently are good. We generally have good intent. We don't try to hurt people. If we've made mistakes, let's see if we can correct them, but it doesn't do as much good to sit there and browbeat ourselves relentlessly for these negative things that are a part of our lives. So those are the 4 steps of the cognitive model for treating this kind of depression. So identify the feeling, identify the thought that led to the feeling, and then evaluate it for accuracy, and then replace it with something that's more accurate. So this is a repetition thing, like anything that we've ever learned that's complex. This is a complex task. So learning a musical instrument, learning how to play a sport well, learning to drive, anything like that is something that we had to learn the principles of and then practice over the course of time, usually months and years. However, this technique can work in a matter of days and in a couple of weeks. And if you practice this and just perform an experiment upon your own life and say, well, maybe it's better for me to be relentlessly critical, but I'm going to give it a test. I'm going to be a little bit more positive, a little bit more accurate in my evaluation of myself. And if I do this, I'm going to see just how I feel. Chances are your mood will improve. Maybe that's not the only reason why you're depressed. There are other reasons, and it can be a little more complicated. But this is one of the quickest, easiest ways to feel better fast, to deal with that relentless self-criticism that is the precursor to depression. So good luck. There'll be more videos on these kinds of things coming up. Thanks for watching to the end.